The experience is massive. Even today, I sit in different the fund itself. There's Makueni County Empowerment Fund Act. As I say, there's Makueni County Empowerment Fund Act. As I said, the system, there's so much information online that really helps it. So that's what I was able to see. There are guidelines, evidence, but I don't think those are acts.
And again, thank you. Can you share with this committee the membership of the MSF committee?
Yeah, of course, it begins with the executive chair. Then there is a legal of the county. Is a finance officer who is elected, the administrator of the secretariat itself, and then there are several chief officers from different ministries. I think the guidelines stipulate a few. I see a number of them that comprise that committee are very clear on the various ministries that touch actually the fund itself. For example, one of them is agriculture, livestock. There is the issues of ICT. There is finance itself. There is, I believe, I see myself, devolution should be one of them. This is my thinking. It's not in the list, but I think it is because of the nature of the social protection. And then water. Yeah, I think that's what comes in my mind. But
I was going to go an extra mile to ask you whether you think there is, or you feel
yes,
the committee is inclusive, or whether you feel there is any department which is key and has been left out. I was going to ask you that.
With other initiatives out of this country. I have a case, for example, in Rwanda where young people come from work and they are being trained on ICT. I would want to begin to look at those product design initiatives that make the fund more impactful, especially when it comes to the beneficiaries. And also what I would want to call clinics, like business clinics. You is such that you don't go massive unless you are social to see these business clinics identify specific excellency points in each ward. And make sure that you develop something that is modeled and people can the buy-in of the politician, so that we don't politicize this fund. If you politicize development, you remain poor forever. You must look at it as, you must yourselves look at it as
the success by this fund. In what ways will you be able to measure?
okay. What comes in my mind first is anytime you give out money for repayment, and that's easy because the system online gives you the data. So, and they say statistics remove emotions from argument. So if we can be able to use this, when you have a mother who was borrowing 2,000 and pays and is beginning to borrow 50,000, so the volume of borrowing and repayment tells me there's impact. But more so, what is this money doing? Visiting and seeing the impact. If they were not able to pay school fees, are they able to pay? And some of that data can be found out by socioeconomic survey, especially because we are working in partnership, I believe, with the CECs. When they do a survey, it is possible for them to be able to tell this pattern was here. So we use benchmark when they are coming in, and maybe 2 or 3 years, we set a period. 3 years usually is good enough to see impact in development, to start seeing impact. So I would trace that. And the final one is community taking leadership. Challenge us, and they have a stronger voice, then the fund is making impact. Because social issues are basically also about profiling the voice of the poor.
In terms of sustainability,
yeah.
What ways or what innovations do you bring in place to make sure that there is sustainability?
Of course, the tough one is to make sure the money is paid back. Because if it's not coming back, you are just plowing in, it's not coming back. So that's one. It's rigor. Rigor in collecting money, whether we like it or not. And the processes are good, stipulated. You follow through and make sure the money is paid back. But more so is to grow people to a level where they are multifaceted investment. Sometimes the risks that are in development can wipe out one investment, and then you find the other side, they are not able to. So sustainability is when you diversify into it. So the beneficiaries need to be helped diversify so that they are not just taking fund to invest on one element and leave another. That helps with the risk management. But the other sustainability, because if corruption is not attacked or dealt with, it is going to completely just swindle the fund and nothing can be done. And I'll come back to the politicians. They are extremely important. I have been a Kenyan long enough to know a good politician can help in sustainability. Just the way they role model. If as governor you can't demand the integrity, the confidence to demand when you are not clean is really eroded. So again, governance is very important. Good governance, excellent governance of the fund is extremely important. So it's from governance to the actual implementers to the actual beneficiaries. You are tightening every aspect to make sure there is repayment, there is fund is more growth of fund, and people are shifting, and they are able to diversify. I think that is what I would say.
Wow, thank you. That's good. How will you align the fund's activities with the Makueni County Development Plan?
The Makueni County Development Plan is really rolled out in a number of sectors. For example, issues related to water development. You can give the fund irrigation. If a farmer comes and maybe they want to either develop a dam or they want to pump water, that's one linkage there. If you fund mothers and they grow good food and they have money and they eat well, you are impacting health. You get to preventive instead of curative. So you link healthy food with health of the person. The other bit I also see is the social protection aspect of it is in itself just addressed very early in even the aspect of the beneficiary selection. I mean, you're going for the poor, you are going for the gender issues there. So you are addressing social protection. But education, when mothers are able to borrow, or families are able to borrow and generate money or make employment, and they are able to pay for the education of their children, then of course that is education there, aspect there. And I think general socio-economic issues, because when you have a business and it gives you money, you can even improve your infrastructure at home. I mean, I remember when I was working with table banking women groups someplace in Machakos. These women, I mean, they changed their home environment. That is infrastructure in itself. They changed the way they live. Some of them would buy motorbikes, some of them would build a house. So you can see the linkage in all areas of the development with the fund.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
Wow. That's well stated. How will you collaborate with the fund's administrator to ensure that there's fairness of the whole program within the 30 wards within the county?
Well, the first thing is to cash in on one of the key responsibilities of this committee is to make sure the information is disseminated. So that's the first thing. People need to know this fund is there.
initially they knew about it. We used to call it tether cup. Now they need to know the new outfit, and everybody needs to hear this. What mechanisms do you think would be best to make sure no one is left out in this communication?
Okay. First, I would develop a schedule of making sure that I know who needs to, which boards. I'm still I don't come to Makueni every time, so how many boards need to know. Media is extremely good. Education, you can go media, the radio, you do it several days. People are here. But also print and literally gather chief. Excellent means. You go with the chief, your barazas, you talk to them, and then work with the different ministries to make sure, the departments to make sure that the communities are good. And politicians are excellent. You work with the politicians and they go and say it out. So you really use media, leaders, chief, administration, stakeholders, the different stakeholders. You can gather them together and disseminate that information in print and soft copy, and it goes like bushfire. And where there is a forum, like create, groups in different forums where leaders of different areas can access those information. You just post it there, and because people are on technology and information will just go. But basically, those who don't know how to read would be to hold forums and educate them and make sure that they are able to ask questions. But let it go on. The education should be periodical. It shouldn't be one time. It should be a schedule. You do it either monthly, intensively, and then after some time you break, you go out again, and it keeps going out.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Madam Ham. Basing the program, there are so many defaulters in this program. What mechanism would you wish or use to recover the defaulter?
Yeah. The online system for this fund management is excellent. That's one I would say. So it does allow, I see on general information that allows people to be able to generally disseminate the information. But normally when you are managing funds, you call people, you assume, even banks call us, you just call them and tell them, hey, you are running behind, what's happening? Because somebody could have a special problem, or maybe they're struggling with the internet or something. Then the other one that I would say is, when you don't pay, you are given demand letter. You write a letter and say, we need our money. You sign something. I don't know yet, but I believe there must be an agreement where groups sign something to say, I'll pay it this way. So you revoke. And because it's community, you send someone sometimes. You send a chief or you send somebody. I want to believe they don't, loans, anywhere, especially where money is loaned, there's always a guarantor. If they don't give, we revoke that, we hold back. And if there are other privileges, we deny them. But I believe you can take people to court, and I am bold enough to.
Thank you.
If somebody doesn't pay money,
yes,
especially if they because they can give you assets and they sell in between, because they are keeping the assets, they can give and say, yes, it's Kenya. They can sell. So when you want to go and get the things that you thought were guarantee your security, ng'ombe ishaenda, si tutakupeleka kotini na kupatia.
Thank you. I've heard you clearly. We have listened to your background and your experience and your profession keenly. Any initiative have you done within Makueni?
Yes. And I wouldn't say any initiative. Okay, initiative. I'll say my own, yes, because I'm a farmer. I'm doing the gala goat somewhere, and there we are training our friends, farmers, how to do it. But I worked with World Vision in this area. Quite much. Makueni, I said, Kambani. This particular place in Makueni, education, schools, a lot. We supported schools when I was a coordinator, although that's were not my funds, but I was the manager. Water, development plans, a lot of community. One of the major empowerment things that I would say I did personally, I got involved, was training communities to speak, to voice their concerns, to say, to engage. to be able to challenge. You know, advocacy is about speaking with, for, and on behalf. So that's one big one, I would say. And I'm glad Makueni is still known for communities that speak for themselves. So I'm proud to be part of the seed that led to that voice that is still provided today. But others were education, training, giving seeds, because that's a form of empowerment. Possibly this fund, we didn't have that fund. We were introducing then in World Vision the cadet, which then we were calling it cadet, and we were still rolling it out. Makueni was just being marked by the time I left the Kenya office. So I wouldn't pride on microfinance, but on voice, seeds, education, youth, I say yes, I did contribute.
Thank you. Madam Han, basing your experience, how would you collaborate with other agencies or NGOs to promote this program to grow better and with a lot of transparency?
Yeah. Already I said one is in the information dissemination, where you come up. But honestly, to maximize on partners from government itself, the county government itself, to NGOs, to other stakeholders, small groups, would be to create a situation where we map out our strengths. Who is supposed to do what? Because if you don't do that, you can easily double resources. So it would be to map out our strengths and who is where. And then to be able to say, so and so you are good in capacity building, so and so you are good in
ICPD Committee. Honorable Francis Matuko of Kilimoso, member of Sakika. My name is Arun Musoka. I represent Pascal Ward, a member of this committee as well.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Moki Maniki, member of this committee, Secretary General Muungano Party.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Engineer Jackson Dolo from Ukia Ward, a member of this committee and also the Deputy Minority Leader.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Josephine Mwasanda Muki. I come from Watenzio Ward, special elect by UDA Party, and I am a member of this committee.
Member Secretary.
My name is Alphonse Kemeli. I am the committee clerk, committee of devolution.
Common Sango Communications.
David Moneki, Communication.
Jonathan Loki, Sergeant at Arms. Leonard Dwella, Sergeant at Arms.
Okay. Start by the leadership against your fund for members. This percent the institution you are from and the work.
Thank you, Chair, and honorable members of the House. My good name is Daniel Kisila, a student at Tigato University in my fourth year, pursuing a bachelor's degree in commerce, insurance and risk management option. I'm from Zakika, the lower part of Machilipo, Langoni. I'm the president for Makueni University Student Association. It is an association for universities, college and TVET students from Makueni County, but in different institutions across the country. But recently, we have a membership from diaspora because of the fragrance of the association. some members who are not from Makueni County have been interested in its membership, and through several conversations within its leadership, we have allowed, and maybe in the process of this engagement, might have some members who are not from within Makueni but are members of the association. So it's as per our association's articles and constitutions, they are not without the membership. Thank you, Chair. We can have introduction from this side.
Amjambo. Mimi niko salama. I'm Moses Koli, fourth-year student, Multimedia University, Political Science and Psychology. I come from Kirome constituency. I'm the vice chair in this organization, that constituency, from Mukaki Taingo Ward. Thank you. I am Kennedy Musyoki, a member of Musa. Which ward?
Which ward?
I'm not from this ward, actually I'm from Machakos.
It's okay. I'm doing it.
I'm a next student, fourth-year student at Seku, also a member of Musa from Nakuru
Makueni particular?
Water.
Okay.
Hello everyone. I'm James Chomo, the Publicity Director, Executive, serve with Daniel Kisila is Publicity Director. Come from Makueni constituency, Kitisa Kivuki Ward. Kenya University, my final year, that's 4th year. Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
My name is Samina Mukekuni. I come from Kibodi West, Kikongoli South, member of Musa, representing people with disability Kibodi West chapter.
Good afternoon everyone. I'm William Otieno, a fourth-year student at Seku University Water Campus. I'm a member of Musa.
Hello everyone. Charity Mwoki from Seku, pursuing Bachelor of Education Arts, English and Literature, a member of Musa.
Which ward?
From Machakos.
From Machakos. Maybe for the purposes of this meeting, if you don't come from Makueni, you can just mention your county. But if you come from Makueni, it's all right to mention your ward, so that at least we can the gap that will be there. Yeah.
God is good. All the time.
God is good.
My name is Elida Musila. I graduated from Maseno University, Bachelor of Communication and Media Technology with IT. I'm a former executive member of Musa.
And we are here today for
Which one? I come from Tulimani.
Tulimani.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Mutama. I come from Boni constituency, specifically Boni Ward. I am a student of International Relations and Diplomacy. I'm waiting to graduate in the next 2 months. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is Willy Mutula, a fourth-year student at Nominee University doing computer science. I come from Emali Mulala Ward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Victor Mwema, the University Student President, Masai Mara University. I'm a member of Musa. I come from Kibwezi East, Tango Ward. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Hello. My name is Yalo Fidel from Segituki Ward, Musa Professional.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kezia Mumbe. I was a student in Machakos University, and right now I'm a professional. I did the business management and administration. So I'm glad that I'm here for this interaction. Thank you so much. I come from Makueni.
Which ward? Which ward?
Sijui ward yangu. Kwetu tulikuwa natoka.
That is the
Makueni Mubao. Yes, that one.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is John Danu. I am a student at Kirudi University, former academic director. I'm from Kibwezi West, Kikumbulu North, and I'm a member in MUSA. Thank you.
For protocols observed, good afternoon members. My name is Collins Ndolo. I am a student at the University of Nairobi, waiting for my graduation. I've done a double major in political science and history. Now in Makueni University Student Association, I am the chairperson from Boni chapter and also the general champion for climate change in this great association for the student of Makueni. I come from Kisau Kiteta Ward under the leadership of Daria Kuanga. It is an honor to be amongst you. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon all. I am Sateki Lamako from Samburu County. I am a member of MUSA. I'm a student at the Southeastern Kenya University, Wode campus. I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Education Arts in Literature, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Faith Mamia, a student at Setu, Wode campus, and a member of MUSA. I'm from Kitui County.
Good afternoon. I'm John Kiloko. I'm currently a student at Southeastern Kenya University, third year student. I'm a member of MUSA from Narok.
Good afternoon. I'm Judah Michael, student here. I come from Pensa. Everyone is a banner of medicine place. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Katambo, a 4-year in Seku, Bachelor's Education Arts, English and Literature from Machakos, a member in MUSA.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Kelvin Atiso from Kibwezi East, Leon Zapan Ward, a student at Logan University waiting for my graduation.
Are we done? Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I am first glad that we are here since 10 or 9 we are all patient to have this powerful deliberation. My name is Peter Mwangai Kimani. I come from 2 wards, that's a Kia ward, under the leadership of Engineer Jackson. And I also come from Kitungo ward, under the leadership of the majority leader, and I am proud of the work that the Assembly is doing, and under the leadership of the wards. I'm proud. I am a professional in electrical and electronics engineering from the University of Kenya, graduated, and I have previously served as the president of the University of Kenya. I've served as president of Makueni University of Kenya, Makueni University Student Association, and I'm serving as the youth representative in the Climate Change Planning Committee. And I'm also serving as the BOT member of Makueni Professional Training, Matini Professional Training Center. And honestly, we are proud and we still trust that the Assembly has the power as it is dictated in the Constitution to legislate, oversight, and represent the electorates. And so saying, we are here to submit to that authority. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is we take oath of affirmation, but only the leaders who will be engaging or will respond to us, so that can have order. So only those who will engage us will take our oath of affirmation.
Chair,
yes.
I'd like to interject politely we had presented a request because that communication was done effectively to us in good time, and we had requested, because these are just a drop in the ocean of the representation of the young people of Makueni and the membership of Musa in their 10,000 membership and above. We were requesting if it is possible, because all the people have been sent specifically by faculties within Musa. And we are interested that even if we are organized first and we have our own people who we have delegated to speak and represent this team which is already here, but along the conversations, somebody might see or be interested in saying something that might be of interest and of importance to its faculty. And we request that as the lead team, which is the four of us, take their oath, the rest can take their affirmation if possible.
Members, I think we can agree, but we take it collectively so that we save time. Okay? Sure. So
that everybody is part of the oath. Okay? Otherwise, we are not maybe preventing someone from speaking. You will have an opportunity, all of you, to speak. We were only making it at least official because taking an oath for all of us, it will take a lot of time. We just selected the officials to take the oath on behalf of the others, meaning all of you will speak, but through the chair.
I kindly request you be upstanding as you...
Yes.
You know how to take affirmation?
Yes.
Okay.
Your right hand.
You guide them.
Yeah.
All of you.
All of you.
And then you repeat after me. So where we had said, you say the member of Musa, you will say your name. Are we together? So we can start. I do swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee on devolution, public participation, county administration, and special programs, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you. Take your seat. So you are aware that I think the petition was when Council Assembly. The petition, and I think you have it as a soft copy. Also members have it. Our work is more of visit than engaging, so that you can get more evidence from you. So that when you in our report, you can do a comprehensive report with your views and what you have indicated in the petition. So it's my humble request to members so that you can give them time. They take us through the petition briefly so that you can deal with prayer number 1 to prayer number 5, as you indicated. So I give you time like 3 to 5 minutes. You take us shortly on your prayers so that you can engage from there.
Chair, before we proceed, I will take this opportunity first of all to welcome the Musa members, specifically the chair who comes from my ward, and tell them that they should be very specific with the petition. Other things we may discuss as we go on, but let us be specific with the petition so that we handle it first, and then we will take up other things later. So let us, when we are talking, let us quickly limit ourselves to the petition so that we can get your views to give us very good time to write a report and then engage in the assembly. Thank you.
And also, Chair, before you give your brief, on behalf of members, on behalf of the Secretariat, and you want to apologize for the delay. We have to start at 9, but you know the hiccups we had a meeting with the Speaker, members are taking it. So kindly accept our apologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. As I've said, I'm Daniel Kisila, the president of the organization. We have been doing several petitions, and we have a manner now we present ourselves once we come for these consultative meetings. Now with the powers restored to me by the Constitution of Makueni University Student Association, I'm privileged when it comes to matters that requires more professionalism, that I delegate that duty to people or members and leaders who are more conversant and can guide us well for proper outcome and impactful sessions. So in the petition that we have been doing, we have a committee which comprises of most of the members who are present today, and others who do not make it due to some inconveniences. But our major participants in the committee normally have the lead petitioner and a moderator from our side. Now by this juncture, I welcome the moderator who is seated next to me, Mr. Peter, and the lead petitioner, Mr. Emmanuel. Proceed as we interject discipline. Thank you, sir.
It's okay.
Thank you so much, President and the Chair, for this opportunity. First of all, apologies are accepted, but also accept our apologies for making some of the reasons that has made us to delay, because we presented ourselves and we continue to represent our faculty to the authorities established by the Constitution of Kenya and established for the people and by the people to grow the community development to the futuristic world that we envision. The petition that is before this committee and the assembly is regarding public participation and governance of the young people and inclusion of the young people in governance. The reason that those have good respect for the time that the chair has accorded to us, we wish to take it as religious as it can be within the brief that the petition can be. So the petition was founded on the premise that young people make the greatest percentage of the population in Makueni, in Kenya, and in the globe. And therefore, the need to involve them in governance, leadership, and matters to effect or affect development, both for the general citizens and for the young people. This petition before you is seeking to readdress issues of young people in regard to public participation. Musa just being a lead team, we have several and general youth groups in Makueni, rather than this specific one for the young people in tertiary institutions. We have other recognized and registered youth groups in Makueni that have the same interests and aspirations that we have, but they might not know which way to go. They might not know where to go to. They might not know how to address these issues. And that is the main reason that we came up with this petition, amongst other petitions. And this petition founded on that fact that young people make the greatest percentage of the population of Makueni, to a tune of over 300,000 young people aged between the age of 15 to 34, with the population that we have in Makueni of about 1 million. Then the age 15 to 34 carries almost a third of that population. It makes sense to tell the authorities that there is need for the progress of the community and the county, to involve the ideas, the aspirations and ambitions of these young people in the development, in policy information, and therefore we spear a well-rounded leadership and governance and development, both for the people and for the young people, because these are the people that we will hand over power tomorrow. These are the people that even if we don't have hand over power, that they will become of age to be in the positions that are established by the Constitution. And if these people are not empowered, they are not informed, they are not involved in leadership, they might end up providing the leadership in their best way known to them that might not be informed from where you sit, because the leadership of the country, and narrowing down to Makueni, has a lot of experiences and has a lot of challenges and achievements that needs to be addressed and carried forward for the achievements. And so that they are sustained, there is need for us to carry along the future leaders, the future holders of the country and the county we are building. Therefore, the petition is seeking clearly to address youth inclusion in governance, to address youth inclusion in public expression, to address deliberate efforts in youth development. We are aware that there is a Makueni Youth Policy 2020. And that Makueni Youth Policy has 3 pillars. The first pillar is the social pillar, the economic pillar, and the political pillar. In our societal setup, everything rises and falls around leadership. And leadership is revolving around politics. And this politics is what we are calling now the political pillar in the youth policy. And as per our observation, as an association, we can objectively say that this policy, if implemented, it can realize greater potential of Makueni County as a whole. Because these people have a lot of brilliant ideas, have a lot of brilliant proposals. But if they have a proper channel to give them out, there can be a tremendous success that all of us share. And therefore, in the political pillar, there's a suggestion that there will be an establishment of a Makueni Youth Placement Unit or Center, as it is referred to in the Chejete. We are requesting for information on how far has this gone, the policy being from 2020 up to now. The youth policy on the political pillar, allow me to dwell so much on the political pillar because we have limited time. I could have gone huge on the policy and expound a lot of issues that we have with the policy. But for today, allow me to dwell on the political pillar, because that is what anchors the rest of the policy. There is an establishment of a Makueni Youth Development Steering Committee that, as far as we are concerned, it has not been realized since 2020 up to now. We are concerned that these developments, they were proposed, and up to now, 5-6 years down the line, there is no deliberate effort to realize them, and they are the perfect anchors. There are also other suggestions, including an establishment of our Makueni Youth Council, which should mainstream issues of young people. We had another suggestion on those suggestions, that they, and also the development of the young people. This board, in our suggestion, we envision a board that will channel. This board, we envision an opportunity for the government to even share their frustrations to the young people for solutions. Because we know, in as much as there are successes, there are things that the government is struggling with, and they are admitting, they can admit if given platform. And these issues, these young people brought together, they have solutions. And even if they don't have solutions, a problem shared is a problem half solved. So if we can have that channel of communication, mutual communication, bi-directional way of talking with the greatest percentage of the population, I'm telling you, we can realize a world beyond the world. And this is not a dream. This is something that is happening in Turkana County, where we have a Turkana Youth Council. And recently, they have a Turkana Youth Board, which is now being championed by the County Assembly of Turkana, across other counties that I could mention. It pains this association to see that some of these achievements that have been realized in other counties, there is no effort in Makueni. However small or big it can be,
welcome to see my wife. Just stick where you are.
Thank you very much, Chair and the committee members. I think I had met you earlier, our comrades, and I wanted to indicate that Chair have noted that the members of the committee, circumstances under which I held a parliament, I wanted to found a noticeable number of citizens in the assembly. I decided to listen to the issues that were arising were beyond their committee. So that had nothing to do with the business of the committee. So that is on that basis that the meeting was closed. So I take note of that. Mheshimiwa Musa, you are there. Your chair came rushing and he could not even leave. Member from Mali Mali came and he was coming for you. When he listened also, he stayed. You know, in the time of Noah, birds were sent and they never came back. So please, as you blame me, blame your chair. Ask him, why did you go and you never came back? Otherwise, the things that these members are raising are valid. The important issues. These are representative sample for children. Your parents, so they are ventilating the issue that they are facing in the community. So listen to them. And as a committee on devolution and public participation, you are responsible for governance, including oversight in the assembly. So don't limit yourself to the issues related to these petitioners. Please also go beyond that and get on record the issues they raised with us then. So that it is important. So to the team leader and others, please ensure that the things that you have discussed there will go on record and they will be part of the report that will be presented by the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation and Governance. Because the oversight, governance outside and governance inside the assembly. I hope that is the government. Yes. Sawa. Yes. Thank you so much. God bless you. As I said, it is your right to petition this county assembly, and the petitions are less. Petitions are under Committee on Devolution and Public Participation. Unless you have a problem with many petitions.
We are okay.
You are okay?
Yeah.
So please use emails as much as possible and WhatsApp. Ask the questions and they should be answered. That is why we have been elected and given responsibility to answer questions. If we are not ready to answer questions, we should not seek for the position. Yes. That's why we are here. We should be doctors or businessmen, not to be asked questions. So karibuni, and I know you are under any committee. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So, I think we can summarize and also engage on the issues raised.
But yeah, because actually technically it's answering some of the questions.
Exactly.
Giving us a lot of information, which is very important to this today. So I think the way it's proceeding, I really take it in the right way. Only that take care of time. Yes.
Let's proceed.
Thank you. Through the chair, I want to appreciate that honorable member of that I'm a very good citizen, and I know when my leader tells me I need to observe this time, I need to, and I will observe. In fact, I was learning. By learning, I mean I was concluding with citations of other implementations of the suggestions that we are bringing to this house in other counties that we envy. And Makueni being the leader in devolution, because it has always been, we also want to amplify the voice of the young people and their aspirations so that we can continue being a leader of devolution. And therefore, much said and done, I wish to welcome 2 or 3 inputs before I welcome the lead petitioner, Emmanuel Doi, to read out clear and expound on the prayers clearly. Because papers don't speak, but people do. So, inputs from the team, briefly.
We can take 2.
Yes.
In the lead petition.
Thank you.
That
is okay, Chair. There might not be any of also as well, so we might have been doing well. Any other input? Thank you.
All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I greet you once more. I'm William Otieno, a diaspora member of Musa. Honorable members, you have to agree that in the arsenal of truth, there is no greater weapon than the facts. And this narrative of youth participation in public affairs and civic activities is not complete until all the axioms are intertwined. Just a few days ago, I confirmed that on 12th August, 14th June, and 5th April, both Kisumu County, Uasin Gishu, and even Turkana had held their annual youth empowerment forum programs. And for the first time, I looked back at our county, Makueni, and we left behind. I even counter-checked, I'm a diaspora member, so maybe the program was held in some ward and I was not present. I counter-checked, but the only thing that I interacted with concerning youth empowerment, anything to do with youth empowerment forum or board, was the petition my fellow comrade Emmanuel had put in the internet. This ongoing petition for the youth to come out in large numbers and participate in. And I believe with the existence of a fully funded youth advisory board, all this petition and prayers will be corrected annually if given a chance. This is a vision that us youths would like to lead. It is a vision that is shared. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. With your permission, Chair, I would like to comment on a few things before we move on. First of all, I would like to talk about this Makueni Youth Advisory Committee or board. It is important we have this board because the youths of Makueni and the youths of Kenya at large cut across in all sectors. When you go to the medical sector, agricultural, everywhere they are there. If we don't have an advisory committee that guides the executive, judiciary, of Makueni County on how to execute their duties and how their decisions are affecting the people of Makueni. We will be witnessing more and more petitions as we continue. So it is very important we consider and check on how we can come up with this youth advisory board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. President, you want to answer?
Thank you, Chair. I'll be very brief, and first of all is to express my disappointment on maybe how it's been handled in regard to this petition. Everybody and every honorable member in this house is aware that this petition is about public participation. But now we had a case how we reached a point whereby the number of participants who were to participate in the meeting was limited to 10. Yet we are going for a consultative meeting on a petition regarding public participation. And the letter that we invited, it was addressed to the association, but not a target number or a number of members of the association. So that's a disappointment to the association, but also we are very much glad because of others a year. To add on, it's about the recent public participation of the youth on the annual development plan. We are all aware that the public participation was conducted online, and only 2 hours were accorded to the youth of Makueni County to participate in that annual development plan. Very much aware that youths in Makueni County takes almost the biggest percentage of the population. But once other sectors need to be engaged in the public participation, the government is very much ready to organize for a peaceful public participation for them to collect views and ideas from the constituents. But now once we get to the youths of Makueni County, the only thing that can be accorded to the youths is through an online engagement of 2 hours. And in the 2 hours, almost 1 hour is spent on introductions and the speeches from the officers in the respective departments. That's not fair, just the use of Makueni County. We're very much sure and we can confirm to you, honorable members, that if we could establish a well-funded, empowered youth and advisory board or a council in Makueni, we'll all address those issues and have an impactful governance in both the youth and the Makueni County at large. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Chair. I wish to invite now the lead petitioner to read out the prayers and expound on them further. Thank you.
Thank you, President, and thank you, Chair. I'm going to use simple terms which everyone can understand. I'm going to try to expound and bring real-time case studies on what is happening and what we are trying to mean. Chair, Article 10 of the Constitution of our 2010 talks about the principles of governance. And today we are talking about public participation and inclusiveness of governance. And these are one of the items, or two of the items that are related in that article, Article 10 of the Constitution. And Chair, just to give a brief reflection, County Government Act of 2012, Section 9, gives the honorable members of this assembly. We are the people who are close to the electorate. That is why these young people are crying to you. These people, that section gives the MCS for the honorable members. You are the people who are close to the electorate. You are the people who are reachable. You are the custodians of the devolution promise. It is a do or die. Direct to our prayers. And I will not expound on that. They have talked about the Youth Advisory Board.
I think before we go to the prayers in specific, we can respond to what has been raised so that you can go to the prayers from number one that will not be answered. We can deal with it. Is that okay?
It's okay.
Because there is the issue of the Youth Advisory Board, and you indicated the Makueni Youth Policy. As a committee, we need to know the gaps in Makueni Youth Policy that has not been addressed, that need to be addressed by the Advisory Board. We need to compare the both, because it might be the name, it might be the same thing. So we need to know what has been addressed by the Makueni Youth Policy and what will the Advisory Board address, so that you can compare, and if it is to do amendment, we include the gaps. Is that okay?
Yeah, actually what I was trying to Chairman, your Chairman, I think I have heard about the Youth Advisory Board several times, mentioned by several members, and it would be fair for the youth to tell us, or the petitioner to tell us, whether we would propose any amendments to the policy, the Youth Policy 2020, so that we can deal with it at this level. Because separately you have said, if this one is implemented to the letter, probably it will solve most of the problems, and maybe it will largely answer all the questions appertaining to that petition. So kindly, if it pleases you, you can go ahead and propose any amendments, and that's why we are saying, let us again one-on-one, without being too official. Let us drop that officiality, that official whatever tag, so that we can engage one-on-one, so that we can actually get to know exactly what we are supposed to do, or the amendments that we're supposed to put in place, so that we can pass them in the assembly and then push the executive to implement. Because you know, from where you sit, we are not implementers of policies. Ours is to pass and then push the executive to implement. So if there are amendments, these are, you are more than 20, you can propose, maybe without limiting you.
Chair, in addition, maybe for information purposes, it is good to inform those members of that Makueni has led on matters of public inclusivity in decision making. It has led to 46 other counties. We must pick that first. Number two, we have policies and laws in place, account level acts that address some of those matters. Maybe there might be a gap on the communication for information, so that we be at par. It is good to know how men understand about the Makueni County Policy 2020 intensively, because when we talk about the board, the police talks about the steering committee. Is it that you want to change the name of the steering committee to a board? So that what has not been mentioned, or what was skipped during the policy making, we can now make, or you can now propose amendment how you would wish it captured for matters of dealing with youth affairs. True that 3% of the population of Makueni is the gap between 15 and 34 years. That I appreciate. I too want to also update you about the Makueni County Public Participation and Civic Education Act 2025, the most current act that has been approved, and actually it has been gazetted. So we can maybe, for that gap or the lack of proper information or communication, we may have the laws in place, the policies in place, but implementation is what has been derailed. We need to understand one another so that at least we can journey together, right? And on that matter, specifically, on those questions articulated, it is good to align them with the Constitution, because Article 37 clearly talks about how you can petition your affairs, and I must applaud you because you are procedurally approaching how to deal with the grievances and accountability matters as it pertains Makueni affairs. So we are pleased and we want to congratulate you for that. So let's, in brief, we can agree, is it the implementation of the policy that has been delayed, or is it that you want some amendment be captured, and how should they be appear like in that existing policies? And also you get in that act, you advise or you see what it talks about public participation and public inclusion in decision making. You pick, you see to what extent you prefer us to make some amendment. That will help us generally as a county, and we will deal with all generational gaps. Thank you.
Again, Mr. Chair, we heard you loud and clear and say that you are very much aware that we normally have public participations in various wards on different aspects. Maybe I just wanted you to share a list of whether you normally send a representative to these public participations. Yeah.
Before you responded, I raised an issue. We compare the policy in place and the so-called steering committee, the youth steering committees. Maybe it is the name. We address what it has addressed, and if we have gaps, we include them. But for because of time, we can allow that to submit a document later on that one. What is not captured in that youth development steering committee. You might be calling it advisory board, and it is called the same thing. And it is the same purpose. It is addressing the same issues we want to be addressed. So we agree on that. We will look into that. Then we address the gaps.
Chair, we are not in agreement because first of all, on our prayers and the invitation letter that we were served, we are expecting a report from the on prayer number 3 or number 2, we requested for a report on the same. From where we sit, that document we came over it from the website. We did not know that there exists a youth policy, and if it exists, it should be reviewed after every 3 years. If there exists a committee that deals with matters of youth, we are not aware. We need to know.
On that point, we need to agree as a committee and as members that policy has not been implemented to the letter. We need to agree that. You said it has not been implemented.
It has not been implemented.
Yeah, we need to agree on that. Even as members, we need to agree on that.
That should be our conclusion.
Yeah.
We don't need to agree right now.
Before we come to the conclusion, you are friends of a very and I want us to get it right, because we must take responsibility, all of us, including you. Yeah. You didn't know that there is Makueni policy 2020. Youth policy.
I came to realize that there is Makueni youth policy 2020 after this petition.
But it is in the website.
So whose problem now?
Now I've not even qualified that policy. In fact, that policy is bogus and does not represent the interests of the youth. If we are to compare that policy, we need to go and sit down and write another policy for the youth in Makueni County, for your information.
But you are just a percentage of the youth, and it should reflect the whole county, that policy.
That is why we
agree on that.
Chair to add.
Engineer?
Just chair to add. I remember during introduction, the president says they are aware that in Makueni we have a youth policy. Yeah. I remember you recognizing that you are aware there is a youth policy. And this youth policy, when it was developed, it also went through public participation. It was subjected through a public participation in Makueni. And the public participation, it is twofold. First, once the executive develops the guidelines, they subject them to public participation, whereby the public participation is expected to include everybody, including the youth. The youth were not bad to go in that public participation to participate and to give their views. Then it was brought back to the assembly. The assembly takes it back to public participation. We have to public participation from the executive, then from the assembly, again to the people to confirm whether these guidelines, the people participated. The youth policy was subjected to that process. Now, where we are now, because now at least the youth of Makueni have raised some issue, where we sit as a committee, as the chair has said, is to compare now the developed Makueni youth policy and now what you are raising. We see where the gaps are. Then we come together, we engage and see how can we improve this policy to tackle the issues of the youth. And the only way we can do this is to engage with you, the youth, give your views, then we see how we can include them as an amendment to the existing policy. If the issues you are raising are captured in the current Makueni youth policy, then we are well to go. If, for example, what is mentioned in the youth policy is the steering committee, if you feel, instead of calling it steering committee, we amend to Makueni Youth Advisory Board, well and good. Yeah, we are here to engage one another. We see how we can make things better. We also have a public participation. That public participation includes the youth from the bottom. Nowhere the public participation does not include the youth. It is not. It is only that when we are doing this public participation, you realize that most of the youth, and you especially the university students, maybe it is done when you are in university, and then maybe you have not been aware whether there was a public participation going on. From this sitting, we can be able to engage and know how now, going forward, we need to involve our university youth to be involved in the public participation we conduct. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, there's one small question.
Before the song, I will give you time, a minute. You know, we are here to engage. Yes. No feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
See, we are here to get. So you should use parliamentary words. When you say that bill is bogus. What if we say this petition is bogus?
Please, Chair.
Honestly, Chair, no, President, honestly, let that member withdraw. That is our parliamentary. Honestly, that is because this is an engagement one-on-one. You have no problem. And there, as if somebody.
Can you please withdraw?
Somebody.
And again, we are
Chair, protect me, Chair. Honestly, if a member of public hears that from you, because this is live stream, it is dangerous. This is bogus. Bogus what? So just withdraw and then you continue.
Okay.
That is unparliamentary.
Yeah, before I withdraw, let just me make a simple clarification. I said that and...
No, you withdraw and then...
The reason why I said that is because, Chair, I don't want us to own a document right now that we believe it is not fitting us.
You know, even if you do a document now, in 2 years, other people will believe
it might be irrelevant.
Yeah. Are you aware that some students from the universities can crop from nowhere and say they don't want this petition?
Yes. You just withdraw.
So
then
you
proceed.
respect those who have done.
Withdraw the word bogus, then you proceed.
You too.
You be parliamentary at least.
Okay, I will withdraw. I say that the current
withdraw and apologize.
No, let him withdraw. It's okay. It's okay.
I will withdraw. I will not apologize.
It's okay.
I will withdraw that statement.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Let me first of all thank the Almighty God because through a lot of struggle we got our constitution 2010. When I was in school like you, when I was your age, we could not meet anywhere to discuss about youth. But through many struggles from the late 1980s up to the 90s up to 2010, we got the constitution which is allowing now here to quote section Article 55, and we can meet in a place called the Makueni County Assembly. That those days we used to have the DCs and we have everything. So, Chair, I've heard the petitioner saying he came to realize that there is a Makueni youth policy by seeing it in the website. That is good. Actually, that is good. We praise technology for that. Number two, on top of the Makueni Youth Policy 2020, we have the Makueni Public Participation Act and Civic Education, which is giving force to the Makueni youth and the rest. Are we together? So, Chair, because these are my sons and daughters, and listening to what they want, maybe we passed a policy calling something a different name, and they wanted to be called another name. I pray, Chair, because we have all the time God giving the life, giving us tomorrow. We first of all, because these are petitions that can bring a lot of things, we allow them, as you have directed, then go through the Makueni Youth Development Policy, and together they try to see if they can also go through the Makueni Public Participation and Civic Education Act 2025. So that now, when you come, we start discussing the issues and what we can amend, we can be at the same level. And actually that is what is provided for by the Constitution. We sit together, we hear this side, we hear the other side, and even in 4 dimensions, we get all the information so that we can come up with one document that is suitable for everyone. Otherwise, I see we can proceed, but that those are my contributions.
On that, on that, the part 3, the public participation forum and the structures, and I want to withdraw what Mheshimiwa said. He said it has been gazetted, it's awaiting gazettement. The government signed it, so you can get a copy. It will be gazetted in time. At the second part, the county government shall establish thematic development forums as forums. The number is it 8? I. There is youth forums for public participation. There will be a set youth forums for that one.
Participation.
And all women forums, persons with disability, all those. So
maybe do you have the have you come across that?
You don't have that.
We can share with you because the governor sent it.
Chair,
let's hear from them. Yes.
Honestly, Chair, I like the way the committee is circumnavigating the problem instead of addressing the problem. The problem is we are legislating through our lives. Why can't we implement this policy that I talked about and this team knows? You know, it looks like now we want to thrive in an issues because our petition is very clear, Chair, and we do not want to divulge so much. It was just an highlight that we wanted to capture the attention of the committee that this policy is there first.
But you know, your prayer was not to implement.
But what is that? Establish a Makueni Youth Advisory Board?
You have said right now we are live. You have said it is not being implemented.
Yes.
So the issue is if it can be implemented, it will address some issues. That's true.
Exactly.
If that policy is implemented, we'll address some of the issues you have raised.
That is true, Chair.
Then let us deal with the issue that will not be addressed by the policy.
Again, Chair, I wanted to get it clear because the lead petitioner, let me call him the lead petitioner. Just remind me your name. Emmanuel. The lead petitioner said clearly that, and he has withdrawn, of course, that this youth policy 2020 is bogus. And then the president and this other gentleman said this policy 2020, if implemented to the letter, it will actually address most of the problems, or actually most of what the petition is calling for. Yeah? Is that true?
Where is the contrast?
So, what what we are trying to tell you is that because we have the policy and the act. Maybe because the act was passed the other day, you did not get a copy, or you're not aware, you have not seen it. So maybe, Chair, with all due respect, if you go through you have a very good petition, but if you go through the act and the policy, clearly, it will answer most of the problems. We are not trying to circumvent.
But you see,
and for,
Chair,
and for your information,
honestly, if we say, if we go through the policy, then it will answer some of the questions. This is 2025. We are heading to 2026. Yes, Chair. Allow me to finish my statement.
Okay.
This is 2025. We are heading to 2026. The policy is 6 years old. The issues we are raising here, some of them, not all of them, are in the policy. And that is why we are saying we extracted issues that, if implemented, and please note, if implemented, they will address a good percentage of the issues. Let us not dwell on issues.
Thank you. So now we will go straight to the specific, so that we can.
Let us deal with the specific.
And then before then,
so that we can see which ones can be answered. The others can be amended.
Now the policy is there. I want us to know, because for the interest of these members, they have said they don't know if the development steering committee, youth development steering committee is there. Is it there?
Yes, it's there. It is there
in the policy. No. Is it implemented?
No.
Yes.
Order. We need to be specific.
Yes.
On the issue. Specific. Yeah. Your prayer was not. It has not been implemented. So that is another thing. We can deal with the implementation. There's another thing. But before then, we are joined by. Before
what is your prayer?
We have been joined by. Introduce yourself.
Elizabeth Mutindi, Chair for Youth and Sports.
And that steering committee, it is in the department responsible for youth affairs. You know.
Chair, just
if you agree, then we go direct to the issue.
So the issue is the
just
prayers.
A clarification.
So that we answer them one by one.
Our youth. Here, first, we are talking about a policy which has been established. We agree it has not been implemented fully. Are we together there? It is good, first of all, we recognize the policy is there. The issue, it has not been implemented fully. Are we together? Once we recognize that, then we need now to look at the established policy. Even though it has not been established, what are the issues that it addresses of the youth, and you are confident with those issues? What are the issues that the policy does not address? And that is what we are requesting. You now bring the issues which has not been addressed by the policy, so that they can be included in the policy the way you want. Then from there, we go to the implementation and ensure the policy is implemented to the letter.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you,
we are,
Chair.
it's only that communication. Let us go to the issue.
Lower the temperatures.
Just a bit, please. One, we will be procedural. Two, we must save time. We must summarize.
Yes.
We cannot keep on mentioning one thing at a time. We are in agreement that there is a policy, 2020 policy, and we have an act that has gone through all procedures, to a governor attending his signature. Now the lead petitioner, you now can acknowledge that there is a policy that which members have requesting for its implementation.
Yes.
And now, having said that, I want to come to concern number one, so that you can be procedural, right?
Yes.
So, number one, as indicated in this policy, is the policy provides for establishment of Makueni County Youth Development Steering Committee. This addresses the prayer number one on establishment of the Youth Advisory Board. Because number one, you want the establishment of the Advisory Board, isn't it?
I think at some point we are in different frequencies, and I want us to be at the same frequency. And the same frequency is that policy, first of all, that petition that we are reading. was done by consultative engagement. We can agree that even the Honorable House, some of your members were not aware maybe of what is contained in the policy. That is okay. We can agree it is true. Some of our members might not be aware that there is a policy. Yes, but now
be patient, have some patience, and also give room to the rest.
Then you
can't only be the sole speaker and take instruction from the chair. You cannot
Yeah, I
be the
think
chair
we can
from
go
there.
straight to
Okay. Lead petitioner.
the prayers.
Can you take us to concern number 1?
What are the concern number 1?
We pray that if this assembly intervenes and moves forward to ensure that we have an educated advisory board that is empowered and with authority to advise, guide, regulate, and oversee the active and robust participation of youth in all facets of county governance.
Right. You want that establishment of the board. To what extent do you have, what extent on matters of knowledge do you have on that the policy about the steering committee?
I've requested that in prayer number 2. I'm waiting for that report.
For the report from them?
The report from the Department of the Ministry. We served out with a letter from the Waziri.
Now, that is about the status of implementation, isn't it? So we are in concurrence that you want the inclusion of the board in that policy, right?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe the chair can report to us the progress on the matters under request.
What if that board is called another name?
Now I'm expecting a report.
You know your petition was done to the county assembly, not to the Waziri.
Yeah.
So why are you expecting the report from Waziri?
You served us with a letter that you got to the Waziri.
But you should get information from where you.
Okay.
Chair, we need a letter to the petitioners inviting them to this meeting. And in the letter, we mentioned that we wrote to the ECM to give us information. The same way we are inviting the petitioners to appear before the committee. So the information given by the ECM is for the committee, not for the petitioners.
Yeah. To combine with
what you are giving us.
Yes.
So that we can rate it.
So that you can see the gap.
Yes.
So I'm saying that because I don't expect to ask a question, and then you tell me that no, you are not responsible for that. So you are going to own.
Are we saying you are not responsible? We are.
President, you can guide the petition.
Also,
now, President, guide the petition. President, guide the petition because you are petitioned, and you are petitioned.
Allow the chair. And also, please, also we need to be careful when we say the word oversee.
We have other organs set by the law that does oversee.
Oversee what?
What do you want to oversee?
But we have said in the prayer.
Okay.
To oversee the president to work participation.
Are you aware that the task you want the advisory board to do is the same work done by the steering committee? Because if I take you briefly, the work of the development steering committee, that is domiciled at county department, that is youth affairs. Number one is to monitor implementation of Makueni youth policy.
Monitor.
Yes. That is the steering committee. Now, insert the advisor now. What we got to in that steering committee, you delete steering, you insert that money, okay? To ensure independent evaluate of the impact of Makueni youth policy at intervals and the new policies initiative accordingly. Okay? To review county policies in alignment with Makueni youth policy and to advocate the objectives of Makueni youth county departments, relevant county departments. Promote research and develop development in the youth sector. Okay? If we had agreed what I stated, if this policy is implemented, that number one will be answered, but only your keyword is advisory. The other word is steering.
Amend.
So that is why I was saying we look into what that steering committee is doing. The gaps, we add them so that we can move together.
When does it change the name? We amend and they change the name.
Let's hear that lady. Let's hear the new.
Please, I was the moderator of this team. As you moderate the session,
okay, it's okay.
Also guide this team because they mandated me, and there is a reason for that. It is not.
But by the time we agreed to take a note, all of you, I can moderate everyone.
That is for sure. But we request for your mercies.
It's okay.
Proceed.
Proceed. But agenda. Allow that.
I will allow her. In fact, that is the reason we are here. All of us will participate.
Can we hear from her?
First, then you conclude.
Yes. Chair, do you want to subdue us to?
No, that is not subduing.
We have only one chair here.
Why do you want us not to hear from her?
We have only one chair.
One chair, yeah.
He is the chair.
Let's hear from him.
Let us listen to him. Right?
I have some sentiment that I want to put
He will
wait. After.
Listen to the chair.
I think I'm
okay.
on that.
Okay.
Let's hear from
Okay, through the chair, I think there is something our team, that your team is not getting clear. There is a question that has been asked of the youth steering committee. Is it existent?
Yes.
It's existent. And then if it's existent, who are the members?
Yes.
Is it from the county officials or from the youth?
Now we'll come to that, eh? But that is not your prayer.
But please, Chair, answer because you
what
are.
do we say? You know your prayer is your prayer is we establish.
Yes.
Which is there.
Chair. What is the difference between?
And also it is structured from village to county level.
Allow me 1 second, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, petitioner is petitioning this account assembly to intervene.
Absolutely.
To intervene if there is something which is being done properly by the executive. And President, what we are seeking from you is the gaps. If there are gaps, if the committee is not there, you tell us it's not there. So that now we can follow when we are writing out report and observation and recommendation. So that things are amended.
And
you pray to us to intervene.
And Chair,
for us
with all
to,
due respect, Chair, with all due respect, we have noted with a lot of concern that we have the youth steering committee, but we don't have the youth advisory committee, which, in our view, deserve one and the same thing. Yeah. So we can amend the policy to fit
the youth advisory.
The name, the advisory.
I'm laughing.
You know your point is your point is when we say it is there. Is it working?
No.
So that is the next.
That is a supplementary
The
question.
question is, words have meanings. Words have meanings, Chair. When we ask, is it established? Is it established? We are not asking about the proposal. We are asking, are there members serving?
No.
Then that is not your prayer. You say it for it to be established.
No, it is a prayer. But it is their prayer. It might be there or it might not be there. According to you, is it there? You are the petitioners.
Chair, you
are the petitioners.
Order.
Yeah, you are the members of the members.
No, let me say something.
Order members.
You already know, you know your prayers and you want us to intervene on your behalf because you're not the implementers. So what I want to advise is, you're saying you want it to be called Youth Advisory Board.
Yes.
And the department has the committee that is called the Youth Development Steering Committee.
Yes.
The position is that the committee is not working and it does not have membership.
Yes.
Do you want the name to be changed to Youth Advisory because the same mandates is what you have?
Yeah. We can't have two committees.
So that when they are establishing, then we can push them to establish it as your prayer and just retain the name. Yeah.
I think we are told that point are we together?
Yes, please. Yes. The thing is, you cannot claim, or even if there is, the youth advisory committee, the youth steering committee. Now, you're stating that it is there. Only that it is
the policy.
Advocates.
Listen to him. Listen to him.
Okay, you claim that the policy advocates to be there.
Yes.
Sawa.
Yes.
And now you're asking us, is there a problem with that steering committee that we want to change? First of all, we cannot change something that has not been working.
Yes. You see,
I will give you time. You know you can't talk when you don't have. I will give you time. You know, if we had agreed the policy as addressed some of the issue, but has not been implemented, we can remove scholarship. We agree the policy states this committee has to be there, but it is not there.
Yes, proceed.
Yes.
Just allow him to proceed.
Okay. The steering committee, in what document can we find how it works?
Exactly. Makueni County Youth Policy 20.
It is not there. It is not clearly there.
It is there.
It is not there.
No. Can I respond?
Yes.
Chair, can I react, Chair? Chair, these gentlemen have made their prayers very clear.
Yeah.
They want the Makueni County move to establishment of a dedicated youth advisory board, empowered and with authority to advise, guide, regulate, and oversee the active and the robust participation of youth in all phases of the Makueni County governance. Isn't it? Yes. Now we have the policy in place. Are we together on that? So we at the county level, what you are referring as to the advisory committee board is what has been captured as the steering committee. Would you want us, through a participation mechanism, come up with the amendment to have it captured as a board and not a steering committee? That is the first concern. Number two, to what extent do you want to include on matters clearly articulated in the policy on the players of the steering committee? What has to be had? If we change the name, what is it that you want us to add or have inclusion to be captured in the roles of that committee?
Just to add on that.
Yes.
Before we decide on that, we want to hear right now what is the function of that steering committee.
Yes.
It is what I
just read.
We
read it again.
Read them.
Yeah, just read it again. Yeah. And maybe if it is shareable, maybe you can get a copy of it right now so that you can read it right
in
now.
the website.
It is in the website. Okay.
And you have said
Chair,
public
allow me
participation.
to clarify.
Yes.
The Makueni County Youth Policy 2020 was passed in 2021 and it is in the county government website. Are we together?
Yes.
The Makueni County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill. It is in the County Assembly website. It was passed by the County Assembly and assented by the governor. Awaiting gazettement. So both documents are there and they are law. Sawa. So they are in the website of the county government and the county assembly.
The chair has a copy of the same.
You will take a copy.
Through the chair,
Yes.
can I inquire? Because I see the temperatures are quite high and when they go when they go too high, there is a tendency when these temperatures go too high, there is a tendency for each and every part to protect their view. And that was not
Staff cafeteria. Very critical is to ensure that there are clear guidelines into staff performance management practices which are in line
with the Public Service Commission. Lastly is also to ensure that reports are prepared and shared with relevant authorities as required. I know that
a report should be presented to the County Assembly and other offices as per the set timelines. Thank you, Chair.
You have enumerated your experience.
Yes, Chair.
Can you, in a very granular way, practical way, very mechanically speaking, in a simple way, relate the experience that you have, of course it's very long, and the implementation of the functions of the County Public Service Board. How useful will be your experience in implementation of the functions of the County Public Service Board?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, please.
There's some clarification. Chair, just jump into me. When you are talking interchangeably used County Public Service Board and County Assembly Board, I don't know, in the process you were talking, there was such a mixture. Could you be missing? We would wish to hear that you don't mix that because they are two different entities.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Jackson Bado, for that. I would like to mention that, as you may be aware, I worked as a member County Assembly Service Board. Here, and the position I am seeking is County Public Service Board. So I believe that is where the issue is coming in. Yeah, I wish to be more clear going forward. Thank you.
Very well answered my question. In a very simple way, the experience that you have, you named from, I don't know, many years ago. How is that experience useful in implementation of the County Public Service Board functions as stipulated in the Town Governments Act?
Okay. Thank you so much, Chair. I believe that I have a wealth of experience in taking on the responsibilities of member County Public Service Board. In this sense, I have been a member of the County Assembly Service Board in Makueni during the second assembly from 2018 to 2022. This opportunity, as I had mentioned earlier, gave me a very powerful springboard into acquiring the experience which I boast of today in this role. In the manner that this, the roles of the County Assembly Service Board mirror so much into the roles and responsibilities of the County Public Service Board member. During between 2018 to 2022, as I have mentioned, I oversaw the development of the county of the Makueni County Assembly Strategic Plan, and I am looking at using the same skills which I used at that time at the Public Service Board to enhance and influence strategic direction on human resource functions at the county government of Makueni. Similarly, I also mentioned an achievement on staff regularization, which I achieved as a member of the County Assembly Service Board during my tenure. I will employ the skills which I used at that time to ensure that staff are well awarded for their responsibilities and job. And this I will achieve by ensuring that recruitment of staff is aligned to the CIDP and the governor's agenda and priorities. This is to ensure that the skills and the expertise that is drawn into the public service is directly useful and appropriate to achieving the priorities set out in the CIDP. Again, I will also capitalize on ensuring that their values and principles are among the staff which enhance a people-centered environment, whereby the public service puts people first and ensures that people have internal drive to drive change to achieve the strategy, the priorities, and the governor as priorities is set out in the 20 in the CIDP plan. Yeah, thank you, Chair.
You have mentioned the governor's agenda 3 times.
Yes.
How would you ensure the independence of the board from the governor? Because you seem to be inclined so much to the governor's agenda as opposed to the public service agenda. And that therefore may compromise the independence of the public service board.
Thank you, Chair. Is a point of focus. Is a point of focus guiding the implementation of programs who have not gone through the entire CIDP document have a glimpse of the priorities which are in that document so that they understand what development they expect. And here I am talking of like, for example, bringing services to the local level mashinani is a governor's agenda, for instance. Advancing green energy in Makueni, the use of green energy, sustainability is a governor's agenda, for example, and many others which I could mention as well, which are supported by the CIDP of Makueni County government.
Honorable Kizuki. Honorable, who come first? Honorable Elizabeth.
Okay.
Honorable Balu.
Yeah.
Proceed, Honorable Balu, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm also ready, Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Josephine Mbenya, I have a few questions to pose to you. You know that there is a problem with the young people. So that their employability is advanced. What, as a member, if granted the opportunity as a member of the Public Service Board, what programs would you bring on board to enhance the employability of our young people? And what measurable indicators would you be looking at to confirm or to determine whether the board is actually achieving that? Another question, how will you regularly report this progress to the relevant offices like the County Assembly and the public? And how will you safeguard the board's independence? I think that has been linked to what you were talking about regarding the governor's agenda. How will you ensure that the board is actually optimally independent and serving the interests of the people? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Elizabeth Mutindi, for those questions. I will go through them, and if I miss any, you will kindly take me back. I will start with the first question, where you have asked me to talk about the measures I will put in place to ensure that young people are engaged in the county government public service. I will start by saying that approximately 70% of Kenyan population is young people. And young people, there is an outcry for young people in accessing many services and opportunities, employment being one of them. I will ensure that young people can access employment into the public service by first ensuring that there are opportunities which are created into the public service to offer young people internship and apprenticeship opportunities as they continue their college or tertiary education, so that as they go along with learning, they also get at the same time exposure to the work environment, to the job market, so that by the time they are finishing and coming out to look for employment, they are not working on a blank slate, but they are transitioning from skills they have built during apprenticeship and learning into the job market. Secondly, I will also create forums into the local communities using the already existing structures into the county government to have forums which open opportunities for young people to engage with mentors, with leaders who are knowledgeable on CV writing, packaging their self, pitching their self into job interviews and all that, how to look for jobs online and other opportunities, so that young people are open to the opportunities which are available, not just into Makueni County or Kenya, but even internationally. Third, I will ensure that recruitment is based on merit and inclusivity. And this is to mean that recruitment will be free and fair, open and transparent, and encourage, even in the tone and advertisement, will ensure that it is motivating for young people to apply for these jobs. Fourth, I will also ensure that young people have a broad mind, which even opens them into venturing into opportunities which they create self-employment, leading to them even employing other young people, and thus creating employment in the process. Those are some of the things which I believe I can achieve change with that question, Honorable Elizabeth Mutindi. Going on to the next bit of the question is on measurable indicators. And here we are looking at how will I be able to say that I have achieved change or an impact has been achieved through the measures which I have just mentioned in the earlier question. Here, I am looking at creating a database of information which is supported digitally of the young people who have grown through the apprenticeship and mentorship through the various opportunities in the public service of Makueni, and even creating a way of tracking how these young people who have gone through this process are faring. This will help in identifying if this particular initiative is working or not, and opportunities for innovation in the future. Another measurable indicator which I can use here is to create a forum, or to create a system whereby a priority is given to qualified young people who have gone through the mentorship process, apprenticeship opportunities offered in the county, and have a track record of how many have been employed, have received formal employment as a result. Another measurable indicator, I am thinking on my feet really, is creating an online portal where young people can access information on the employability skills, and from there looking at how much feedback is coming from there on young people who have succeeded through the initiatives which have been put in place. I will proceed on to the next part of the question, Honorable Mutindi, if you allow me, which was on how I will regularly report this progress to relevant offices, County Assembly being one of these offices. Progress definitely is reported through progress reports which are prepared by the County Public Service Board and shared to the Assembly. I know from the duties and responsibilities there is a provision for doing this annually. So I am looking at using that opportunity to share this kind of progress. I am also looking at using the various scorecards which are available into the public service to present this information to the public, to create awareness around this, because I believe also the public needs to get a progress of what is happening. So I will use the public opportunities available in my position and acceptable within law to create awareness around this. Again, I will also use the performance management system, like the reports on appraisal reports on the performance of various departments across the county to post this progress and progress reports as appropriate. Is there any other question I have left out?
Have you been answered?
Yes, there's one more left on the how they will you will safeguard the independence of the board.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Mutindi. How will I safeguard the independence of the board? The independence of the board is very important when it comes to executing its functions. And this I will ensure by ensuring that there is transparency, openness, and accountability in all the dealings of the board, in the process of decision making, in the process of taking action, in the processes that form the day-to-day activities of the board. The second thing in ensuring that is encouraging and creating an opportunity where members of the board can freely declare any conflict of interest that is arising, and encourage using the provided ways of receiving any conflict of interest declared and resolving it. Another way to address this is to ensure that recruitment and performance is purely based on merit and other criteria so defined in the recruitment practices like inclusion, affirmative action, and such measures which are approved as guiding recruitment. Thank you, Honorable Mutindi.
Honorable Jackson Balu.
Thank you. Thank you. Josephine, I want to hear more from you. From your qualifications, I didn't see much about HR in your training. Mm-hmm. Okay, I when I went through, I didn't see anything touching HR, but you've had experience of working with the Makueni County Assembly Board.
Yes.
Okay. Now, within the County Public Service Board, because you cannot treat a disease you don't know.
Sure.
Can you, in a short, tell us what are the challenges that are there and the perception of the youth, the community about the County Public Service Board? Because if you don't know that, you may not be able to treat it. There are major issues the youth always keep accusing, pointing finger at the County Public Service Board. Can you tell us a few of those?
Okay. Thank you so much, Honorable Jackson Balu, for that question. Challenges facing the County Public Service Board in discharging their mandate. All right. Challenges are always there and everywhere. I believe what makes the difference is how we are able to maneuver and go beyond these challenges. Some of the challenges which the County Public Service Board is likely to be faced with, one of them is budgetary constraints. For the County Public Service Board to be in a position to achieve professional, performance-driven public service, that means there is an element of capital investment into that.
Kindly let me guide you so that you may go slow to the point I want you to address.
Okay, thank
because
you.
The youth out there are many who feel marginalized. There are areas that are marginalized where they feel majority of people are employed from some wards while others are left out. And that has been the hue and cry within Makueni. And it must be addressed somewhere. But you see, you cannot treat it if it's not in it. So I wish to hear, you had experience with the county public service, the county assembly service.
Yes.
Did you face issues of marginalization in employment within the wards? Because those are some of the things which you could make me know that you can be able to address the others. Because there are wards which have many employees, even at the county public service board. While you go to other wards, People are qualified, they have nobody to step to. You don't get directors in those areas, you don't get chief officers. So, the board, what will you use to reach those, to balance, to bring the inequality down? Because that's a major thing. And I'm sure as we conduct this, the public is waiting to hear that. Majority of you who are from those areas, they want to hear that, how you will address that. It's a major thing.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Jackson Balu, for that clarification. I have got you right now. One of the things I will do to ensure that the challenge of faced is that I will create, or rather, get a deep dive into the already existing data and information to understand the extent of this disparity in based on wards, in terms of where we have some wards not having more people into the service as others. And after establishing that gap, I will work to bridge this gap by first ensuring that recruitments are focused on bridging this gap by, for example, opening up opportunities which target young people, maybe at the entry level.
Sorry. They'll be taken by the same areas. I want you to come up and tell me. You'll create those opportunities. But the areas that has been picking those, they will pick. More qualified. Get a person who scored a C-Con down in Kalawa, Kikumbulu North. They will compete with somebody who scored it well here, Mboni. So, how will you address that inequality? People are qualified, but you can imagine the situation they face to come to that. They are sharp, but they are exposed to harshness. That's why they become marginalized. It has to be addressed. Do you agree first there is marginalization?
Yes.
Some wards are more employees, more than triple, even 10 times than others. Those are the things we want to hear.
Okay, thank you. First, I will use affirmative action into ensuring counties which have been marginalized in terms of the people who are engaged into the public service in that ward are given opportunities and have the relevant requisite skills and qualifications to take up that job. Honorable Jackson Balu, I would also like you to understand that as much as we want these jobs, we should also consider qualifications, meeting qualifications first. As much as we want to consider counties, or rather, wards which have been marginalized. And affirmative action can be used, but then we will also require these people to have the requisite qualifications to take up the job. Secondly, I will also apply the 2/3 gender rule in a way that it helps us to create more opportunities for women and other marginalized groups from these communities, from these wards where we feel that little opportunities have been offered to these wards.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is you get people who are qualified down there. Don't think they are in Kalahau we have graduates. In Kikumbulu South, North, we have graduates. But the number of those graduates being employed in Makueni County Public Service Board is less compared to other areas. So, in other words, we have so many employees from other corners, while there are some who have been marginalized. by being in that position and they have nobody to even to stand to. I would wish the board to address that. You have not addressed that, because when you say, but because qualification is standard, you find talk of agriculture degree they have, diploma they have, but how will you now try to balance areas that have benefited a lot, the way it is said even the national level, more than others?
Okay. Thank you. I will still insist on taking affirmative action to ensure that those areas which are oppressed in terms of receiving opportunities for employment opportunities have allocation for these opportunities. I will also use something like the ward quota system, for instance, to ensure that a particular advertisement targets a particular ward localization. In this case, let's say we are recruiting opportunities where we are targeting to recruit personnel for a factory, like a dairy farm in Katonzweni or a dairy farm in Boni, for instance. Is looking at how can we promote the local people around in such cases where a factory or an industry or an institution is in the local area. Establish a certain percentage. For example, we can say 30% of the employees in the dairy farm in Boni will come from the local community. And maybe 60% now can be fetched from all over the county.
So how will you handle those who do not have dairy farms and they are from those local remote areas? You don't see that you're not addressing it, because
Yes.
you are benefiting those who have managed to have those factories around. But we have areas that are marginalized. They don't have those things. The board must, eventually, I'm sure you'll come to that. Eventually, let me go to another question. The other question is, what unique qualification or character that led to your nomination to be a member of this board that surpassed the others? You had other competitors. What specific unique character or qualification that you had which competed against the others?
Thank you so much, Honorable Jackson Balu. This one very specific and unique qualification to me, which I can talk about, is my ability to oversee strategy, direction, my ability to collaborate and work with diverse teams.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, Josephine.
Good afternoon, Honorable Dixon.
Thank you. I will start with the qualifications, because I have seen in the academics she had indicated she has a Masters of Arts in Public Policy and Administration, but no certificate has been provided. You can help us with that, because it's part of what we are discussing today. Two, I did not also get clearly on a bachelor's degree, how it's helping the HR aspect. So if she could also clarify further on that. because it's not coming out clearly, as Honorable Mbalo has also indicated. Number 3, if you can also highlight some of the HR related achievements you achieved at the County Assembly of Makueni, because even when we speak, we want to know how you can bring that forward, how you can, we can relate that with whatever is available for the County Public Service Board. Then County Public Service Board also operates through committees. If you could highlight 3 of the committees, just 3, we don't want to exhaust that list, but you can give us 3 at least. On the same, because Honorable Palu is touching on that, I come from a marginalized ward. When you do simple work, the county has a public service HR size of 3,800 or thereabouts. If you divide that amongst 30 wards, we are supposed to be having like 130 Kumbulu South people who are working for the county of Makueni. But when you practically go to the ground, you will get not even 20 will be coming from Kumbulu South. Those are things you also need to tell. And in your responses, I expect you to, because you will not work alone, you collectively work with other board members, including the chairperson and the CEO. I expect you to also show us how you, because yesterday the pastor who taught us in AIC Kambeni is the administrative secretary for our church, AIC Church in Makueni County. He talked about connections, how you will be connected to the right people so that your things can change. How you will use the board, because board is not about one person, it's about a diversification of many professionals. That's why when we talk about your relation in terms of what you've been trained and what you'll be doing, we are not saying you must be an HR person, but we need to see the aspect of HR practice and professionalism coming out very clearly. So how will you balance within the 30 wards? Bearing in mind, there is no law which discriminates against even those wards which are overrepresented. 2, you will also need to note that you will not recruit without budgets. So a lot of people will come with a lot of motivation and expectation. Then they find that these budgets are not existent. Unless natural attrition or such happen, sometimes you are not able to recruit. But how will you balance that? I'd also scripted something to the same aspect, but I think you touched on the agenda of the governor and CIDP. You touched on that, but I saw members could not relate sometimes with the governor's agenda, because you talked about going to the ground, governor speaking to the communities. It did not come out very clearly on public service board, roles and mandates. If you can relate that, and you also tell us how you have been able to study, because I'm a student of something, you need to learn before you go there, so that you can be able to even set the pace. If you can tell us something about the CIDP, how it will relate with the governor's agenda for 2022-2027, and how the board will assist the governor. Still speaking to the independence, when you are talking about the independence of the County Public Service Board, it's not also coming out very clearly, because independence may mean other ways. Because sometimes we may be employed to be independent, but independent means we are interdependent. We need to learn something from the assembly, from the county executive, from the governor's office, like that, you can also speak to those facts. Maybe Speaker, I can stop at that. I didn't want to, because I wanted to also declare she comes from Kibwezi West, and you know, I'm the person also to defend people from Kibwezi West. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
For purposes and records, you are a member of Kikumbuliso. And the unit of representation to the Assembly of Makueni is a ward for purposes of this exercise. And therefore, under the
Thank
subsequent...
you. I come here as the leader of minority.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Not
Kikumbuli South.
Not Kibwezi West.
Yes.
You were elected as a member of Kikumbuli South first to qualify to be a leader of minority.
But my
minority
qualification
is
here...
privileged, and Kikumbuli North is superior.
I want to agree with you, but that is the fact.
Fair enough. Questions? Answers?
Thank you, Honorable J. Kalunda, for those questions. I would like to take them on in the order which you listed. On the first question was regarding my master's degree, and I would like to say that my master's degree is ongoing, and if I can mention, is that I am done with classwork and also the research work. My research work is already published. I provided the journal in which my research work is published. It was just an hitch towards the graduation that I could not make it into the graduation list for December, and therefore I did not graduate. I hopefully looking forward to graduating during the July ceremony. As regards my undergraduate degree in education, special needs education, I remember during that time when I was graduating, one of the very popular slogan from the learned friends was that during the graduation is that we have been conferred with the power to now read. The first degree is actually a door opener to what life can offer, and education is one of them. And it opens, actually a degree opens the learner's mind to understand the issues around them, around their community, their people, their country, and the world, and identify where they fit in to help in addressing these issues. And I have created a niche for myself professionally through gained and experience. Yes, I agree that I do not have a certificate which relates to HR, but I believe there are many other functions in the board which I have adequate skills and qualifications in, and I come in handy to work together with the team to achieve the functions of the board in this position. You also asked me about HR related achievements at Makueni. when I served as a member of the County Assembly Service Board. I would like to mention some of those which I had mentioned earlier, and I had mentioned that I oversaw the process of developing and officiating the County Assembly Strategic Plan. A strategic plan which offered a direction, a 5-year direction of the business of the county. Secondly, I also worked to enhance the welfare of honorable members and staff by putting in place guidelines and procedures to establish and run a staff cafeteria. If you can remember, Honorable Kalunda, because you were there in your first term then, this has come in handy to help members are there to being in for assembly proceedings on time, and many others, avoiding disruptions and many other things. I was part of the team which ensured that staff regularization has been achieved in the assembly. Staff regularization, and you know, this had been delayed, was long overdue, and was getting to a point of demoralizing the staff of the assembly. But from this, staff felt appreciated, acknowledged for their work, and it boosted the morale of the public service of the assembly. So those are some of the things I would mention as achievements during my tenure as a member of the county service board. You also asked me about committees.
Before you continue,
yes.
Speaker.
Honorable, you speak through the chair.
Yes, I was saying the speaker now. Chair. Thank you very much. You see, I was speaking to the facts. Like when you look at a term during a stay in this assembly, we saw employments going to a specific sub-county like Makueni sub-county. Those are the things we're asking. We saw employments going to sub-county of Makueni. Maybe because of many factors. But I'm asking the same question now. You will be representing Kibwezi West. If you find a chairperson who comes from Kibwezi East trying to bring as many people into Kibwezi West East, will you be timid and allow him to run the show? That is the question Honorable Mbado is also asking you, because we've seen with the previous experience that many officers in this assembly were employed from a specific sub-county. And the sub-county of Kibwezi West, Kibwezi East, other places, they had no show. So that should be your question. That is the question I'm asking. It's not about the motivation of the staff. It's not about how we gave the cafeteria or strategic plan, but how you will balance. And we've seen how members of staff were coming from a simple sub-county. Out of the 6 sub-counties, one of the sub-county was getting 99% of the share. So please respond to that, because that's an aspect of when you are representing, because when I'm representing the people of Kikomboli, I speak matters to do with Kikomboli. Mbalu, you've had Honorable Mbalu also pushing matters to do with Kikomboli, because he has a direct mandate to the people to tell them that I will be speaking on your behalf. Now that you saw how Governor Mutula distributed these positions, Kibwezi East, Kibwezi West, Mboa, Kalome, like that, we could not see a repetition of a candidate coming from the same sub-county, because we have 7 members of board, including the a CEO, and each of them come from a sub-county. So to sort that matter, it is for you to speak to these facts that you are representing a big population of Kibwezi West, not people from Ngumu, but people of Kibwezi West. But to also show us that you are able to represent people of Kibwezi West, and more so, people from the road, highway. We want to associate that with your previous experience with the County Assembly Service Board, where you reneged those positions, you reneged those aspirations of the people of the road, and you could not, your voice was not heard speaking about the people of Kibwezi. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Just before you answer, Honorable Kalunda, in line with the provisions of law and the Constitution, the diversity of appointments of the nominee to the County Public Service Board is not to take over the role of representatives of the people. Members of the Public Service Board have no role in representing the people, have role in representing the functions. So it is fair that that is very clear. So if a member of board has been approved before, the ones that we approved, it would be wrong for them to constitute themselves as representatives of the interests of the area they come from. And that is why in that board you will find there are women and men. That is not to mean that they applicate the responsibility of the gender parity. There is need for a youth. That is not to youth, that a youth nominated from a certain sub-county who focus on youth from that sub-county and neglect the rest. And that therefore the chairperson that may not fall under the law and the provisions that they have. They are only under, hold on, they are only express mandate and responsibilities of members of public and state office and provided for. Therefore, the candidate may have no role in representing and protecting interests of a village, ward, or sub-county. In this case too, you have stated that there are facts. It would have been proper if you ask the candidate to make an explanation. For example, you asked her, provide your master's certificate, because it's provided and is a master designated. It would have been preferred also you ask her to answer questions related to the figures and facts, and then you provide them. When you ask a broad and open statement that 20 ladies were employed from area X, then that becomes a question and is open-ended. It would be fair to the candidate, because this is not a court of law, to provide the information and ask her why this happened. But when you say you know and we know, it is not within us.
Thank you.
So that then we follow the basic principles and then procedures.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You see, Honorable Speaker, we have a candidate before us, and we ask questions which we feel they need to be responded to. These are public institutions, and we must represent without being coerced or something. That's why if we can allow the candidate to respond to these issues, because these issues are coming out all the time. So, and to be prudent, if we allow the candidate to respond, yes, then when she reports, because we'll have a debate with you as a committee on deliberations when we are doing the report writing. But it's good if we allow the candidate. You know, sometimes we are not telling the candidate.
We can't debate about the law. We did not invite representatives of the people in this house.
Thank you, I know that. That's why I'm asking.
Therefore, so that we save time, we can't ask a candidate to play a role of representation of the area they come from. And therefore that question would be the right answer to you, but that candidate will lose.
Thank you.
I mean, you know,
it's not part of what will constitute our reporting, but that's why the governor did not nominate people from Mombasa and Kisumu. The diversity of the county.
That is the interpretation.
It is in the law.
Also, allow me to guide this.
A committee of this assembly.
Order. A court of law, yes. You appear with evidence.
Thank you very much.
Let me further guide you. If you go to a court, as it is this committee, you appear with the document, evidence, and facts. You don't allege. And in court, you are told he who alleges must substantiate.
I have a duty and responsibility not to allow a candidate to be a MCA or a MP or a governor or a senator. We were not presented with a candidate to represent people for oversight and advancing the welfare of people of the area they come from. And therefore that question will be the wrong question for the right candidate.
Let's
Please.
make progress. Let's make progress.
The other one, you are able to provide her with the figures for clarification. You said 99% of the employees, you are able to provide for clarification.
Thank you. Allow
You
her
are
to
record.
continue with whatever I had asked earlier, but that's it. Allow her to continue with the questions I had put across for her in the earlier version. I don't need to, I mentioned it.
Okay.
And
Proceed.
you know, the public has to know these things. Yes.
Honorable Kalonda, we are not just here as a walkie. It's a privilege given, and you must relate evidence and facts to the nominees. They are not prisoners.
No, I have no problem with the
Proceed, Honorable
candidates.
Kalonda. Proceed, nominee, and answer to the questions.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable James Kalunga. I would like to go to the question of committees, and I would like to mention that the County Public Service Board is at the discretion of establishing committees as it may deem necessary to help in its mandate and function. And some of the committees which this board can establish include a strategy committee to drive strategic direction on human resource planning and management. The second committee which could be established is a compliance committee. As we all know that the County Public Service Board has a mandate to ensure compliance on a number of issues on staff. So a compliance committee would be very necessary to ensure compliance, to ensure this compliance is filed on time to avoid late compliance and other things. Then we also have a human resource management committee, which could deal with things like staff training and development planning, performance appraisal, disciplinary action, and such like things. Going on to the next question you had asked me, Honorable James Kalunda, is on the agenda. How I will link the CIDP priorities. How I will link is it the governance? How the board will assist in achieving the CIDP. And I would say that the governor, the board, I would say that the board is actually an enabler to the functions of of the county government. Being an enabler in this sense, for the county government to achieve the priorities which it has set in the CIDP and into annual development plans, into the budget, it requires human resource to achieve this. And the county public service board is the one tasked with the human resource function, overseeing strategic direction, policy, governance of the public service. So in that case, then I would say that one of the key things which I will ensure is to ensure that there is alignment of the public service to the priorities which have been set in the county integrated development plans. In this sense, ensuring that the priorities are well supported by staff who have the skills and expertise to deliver on what is required, be it in the area of health, be it in the area of agriculture, be it in the area of roads and any other department which is under the mandate of the county government. Then the other thing I will do is ensure that performance management of the staff is aligned to look at how far or what are we doing to advance the achievement of the priorities set by each department. For instance, if it is the Department of Health, it is looking at when performance management is conducted, it is based on these achievements which have been set out in the CIDP and what the relevant public officers have been able to achieve under that department. Then the other thing I would also ensure is ensuring that there is frequent feedback mechanism to help in getting feedback from the citizens and also getting on service delivery and also getting feedback from the staff in terms of where do staff require more support in order to deliver. Is it in forms of training? Do they require training? Do they require upskilling? Do they require reskilling in order to be able to have the right skills to deliver on the priorities which have been set up by the department? So those are some of the things I would put in place. Thank you.
Honorable Isungi Wakatete.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, most of the questions have been answered, and I think I'll just have one or two questions for the nominee. One, let me applaud you for work well done in the County Assembly Public Board.
Thank you.
Sorry, in the County Assembly Service Board. I think you mentioned the strategic plan, the staff legalization, welfare of members, and all the other things you performed in that board. And I think we can see some of the fruits from that particular board, 2017-2022. My two questions. One, there has been issues with the county wage bill, and we know most of the staff we have, and this should be go to the record. Most of the staff we have are just duplicate, are working jobs which are duplicating each other, and probably others are idle. Probably some work can be handled by one person, but they are being handled by two people, and we know the wage bill is going high vis-a-vis the development budget. So how will you handle that, considering that you also need to balance the staff? And over and above that, we may probably need to have an organogram for the county, for every department, so that we may know the staff needs and things like that. So probably you should tell us what you'll do about that. The second question is about
our hospitals. We've seen problems in our hospitals, especially on employment of experts. For example, it's a pity that we don't have a radiologist in the whole county. And I'm not sure if it's the whole county, but I know our level 5 hospital doesn't have a radiologist, and we can only acquire one through consultancy. And we have an opportunity of employing a radiologist in our level 5 hospital. So, in your opinion, consultancy and permanent employment for our experts in the hospital sector, in the health sector, what's your take on that? Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Kisungi Wakatete, for that question. I will start with a wage bill of Makueni, of the county government of Makueni. Many things lead into the increased wage bill, and one of it would be non-compliance to the guidelines which have been provided in the County Governments Act and Finance Management Act on how to manage development versus recurrent expense. And the county, how will I support the county government in managing the increased wage bill? One of the things which I will put forward to help with the increased wage bill is removal of non-productive human resource activities like foreign trips and workshops which do not have a direct impact into the set out priorities in the CIDP. Secondly, I will also ensure that the county, I will put suggestions, or rather ensure that the human resource function supports the county to increase on-source revenue generation. In this manner, I will support in ensuring that probably there is a digitization of processes. There is support on HR to ensure that the county is able to enhance how much is able to generate income from within the county. The other thing would also be carrying out staff audit for the public service to establish their responsibilities vis-a-vis the priorities in the CIDP and further down into the departments into which they work. And this will help us in identifying where we have overstaffing and where we have understaffing, and probably establish a mechanism of upskilling, reskilling to facilitate movement of staff to departments where they are deemed more productive and where there are shortages to enhance the performance on achievement of the set priorities. You also asked about hospitals whereby there are lacking experts. For instance, you have given an example of a radiologist at level 5 here in Makueni, which is a critical service missing at the health facility. And you have asked what is my take on consultancy versus permanent employment for such and other specialists. I would say that specialist personnel is very critical to the full operational functioning of any institution or any institution where service delivery is offered, like an hospital. And ideally, these specialists are scarce. And in most cases, you find that they are not adequate for the various hospitals to have a radiologist. Or even sometimes you find that it is even difficult for one county to have a designated specialist. So for this case, for my case, I would establish, or rather using the networks available through the Health Workers Union to establish how many registered radiologists professionals do we have in the union, and where are they working at the moment, and find out is there an opportunity to package an opportunity to attract them to apply to work for Makueni County. And then, secondly, I will also establish and hear from them what kind of engagement would work for them best. Because again, as I said, remember I said I am looking at making the county public service board people-centered or people first. And one of the things is to look at what working arrangement would work for them best, and also look at what is the need for Makueni in terms of that skill which is needed. Probably you will find that this particular expert will prefer a consultancy working arrangement where they are available on this number of days for Makueni, dedicated, and then Makueni now can schedule their workload and planning to accommodate this availability so that we are able to serve the people of Makueni. Again, we could also look for 2 or 3 of these expertise. One is available, if one is available Monday to Wednesday, for instance, the other one comes in on Thursday and Friday, and so forth. And if of Makueni, as far as radiologist, for example, is concerned, not through permanent engagement, but through consulting, having is less as compared to those of someone who is engaged on a permanent and pensionable terms. That's how I would take that question, Honorable Kisungi Wakatete. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm well answered. I think probably in that particular matter, because there might be some other factors within the administration which is frustrating our experts. If you take this job, will full time?
On my case.
Yes, okay. If you take now the job you are doing, you are applying for, will it be part time? You work part time or full time?
I am available.
But one of the roles of the board is to prepare reports and submit to the council.
Yes, dear.
When you submit to the county assembly, it is not in the board, public service board will not, for consideration, approval or comments. Therefore, do you agree that the board is answerable to the, and that the board should execute oversight to the county public service board?
Yes, I agree. Like now, this process, the county assembly is taking that role.
Will you not change so that in future, if a member of a county assembly puts a question on a contract of or a resolution of the county public service board or on a report, will you not take it that the county assembly is fighting the government? The county assembly is the county assembly is fighting the county public service board, which is independent.
No, I am open to receiving I believe it is from that I create all avenues for innovation and enhancing how effective the board is. Like I have taken note of the issue on bridging the gap between those counties which have less people running the public service, and it is something I will examine at depth to understand it and
Very well, I needed that question asked. My earlier question is because there are instances where more than 15 people in this term have passed through that desk. Very soft spoken, very humble as you are, give commitments of timelines, and even in the previous assembly where some of these members vetted them. And when they join the government and you put a question on the performance, including invited to the county assembly, or questions are asked in their dockets, they pass the baton that the assembly is fighting the government. So I wonder, where was to be vetted? So the governor was voted by the citizens. The public service board will be vetted by this county assembly. And after this, when on personal commitment, doing or misdoing. So I just wanted to hear whether you understand that aspect. So
Yes,
that you, for whatever reason, get or not get this opportunity, then you know that you're personally and as a board responsible for your actions or inactions.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you, Chair.
Leader of the minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I had asked about diversity and also the frustrations, because you will go there and you will find people who are diverse in their ideas, in their experience, in their profession. How will you navigate? How will you speak?
Proceed.
I'm addressing the speaker,
Yes.
the candidate through the speaker, and when the
Thank
clerk,
Thank you.
the diversification aspect you did not, because there are many frustrations when you go there. You will find many board members, and there is a CEO, and there is a chairman, and then they are from different backgrounds. Sometimes some of them are straight, others will take corners. Sometimes there is a lot of frustration in terms of resource mobilization. And I also keenly listened while you said that you will provide not just the local or even Kenyan internship and apprentice opportunities. You said you will go even international. I also wanted to get to understand what that is with the frustrations and how you will be able to navigate through those issues and maintaining the focus that the service board must be effective in executing their mandate. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Jakes Kalunda. I will start with the first question. And the first question is looking at how I will conduct myself in the board to ensure that I am not under by board members who sabotage. I would summarize that to that, if that is correct. Yes. So this role is, I understand it is guided by laws, legislation available that guide the actions, decision making of the board. And by so doing, we are all bound by the laws which govern. And even when you look at the chapter 6 of the Constitution, it binds us as public and state officers to carry ourselves in a manner that respects and gives dignity, hope into it. That we subscribe to offer our and provided within the law, which offer our and use provided within the law, which we can use to resolve, provided within the law, which we can use to resolve such issues should they arise and be able to proceed with the mandate which
to manage state officers, public officers like that. I have heard about the conflict resolution mechanisms. That's fine, but you will find very frustrating people. People who have gone to school with good papers, with good experience, but they want to take shortcuts. I told you there are shortcuts. You want to do well, but there are other people who are who will also want to do well, but not well in terms of what's. How will you navigate? That's what I'm asking you. Yes, the laws are there. How will you do it? Because you will find there are people who are not, you are not going the same direction. There are others who want to stop you. There are others who want to fight you. How will you do it?
The honorable member is asking you, in an organization, board or committee, you may find yourself alone or in the minority. Remember, he's the leader of the minority party. So yes. Many times they suffer that. And that numbers are not on your side, but you believe that your position is right. Or two, in instances where majority of members are not of your opinion that you feel is the right opinion, and that they are not of the right opinion in line with the constitution and the law, how will you manage that?
Thank you, Honorable James Kalunda. Thank you, Chair, for clarification. In a board where you find that there are conflicting decisions, I think the majority wins, but it is always important to register why I am objecting an opinion with reasons, so that it is recorded as I allow the majority decision to take precedence.
Take for example, you want to hold a meeting, then that meeting is not forthcoming. Sometimes even when you meet, the agenda item is not placed there. You know, you've not even voted for these agendas, for example. Those are the things I'm preparing you. I'm not saying that is the ideal situation, but it will be the real situation. And I'm just preparing you because at least before you are dealing with 5 board members, now you will deal with 7 board members who have their specific duty just like that. So those are the things you will prepare yourself to find in future, because you want to say you want to register. Sometimes we don't register. Even here, when we do not agree, we don't register that we did not agree. We only say the opinion was like this. If it doesn't pull everybody on our side, we agree, we'll just drop that. So those are the things I want you to, because I know you'll find them. Immediately you get into this board. But the mandate should be very clear. The focus should be very clear. And that's what I want to challenge you, if we give you the opportunity. But the feeling of the membership, I understand so far, it is not that bad. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable James Kalunda. And yes, I am persuaded to think that you have been a lecturer before, and maybe a public policy course unit. You are pushing me to the limits I used to face in my classes there.
No,
but it's a good challenge.
I am an IT person.
Appreciate.
I don't teach policy. I teach IT only.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Honorable Kalunda.
Thank you very much.
A lecturer is
It was off the mic.
Please. A lecturer is a lecturer. They also give talks on things they have not studied in terms of the core content, but they study outside the world. So take compliment positively. Mwalimu. Let us.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And our candidate.
Thank you.
Very well. There being no other question, that marks the end of this conversation between you, Josephine and ourselves. And Honorable Mutini, you have a question?
I had a comment.
Please make your comment.
I see she has a special place in her heart for the PWDs, and I want to urge her to have a very keen eye regarding their recruitment. There has been a big outcry and petitions and all that, so we hope you're going to come in handy and try to bridge that gap. Thank you very much. If you happen to be approved, kindly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mutini. It's a passion I have, and yes, if I happen to, and even if not, I can spearhead it in other forums of interest to Makueni County. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That marks the end of this vetting process between yourself, Josephine, and ourselves, this committee of the County Assembly. And that's all. We will now allow you to make a remark, if any, or make a comment or ask a question. Whatever you say may not be and will not be used for or against this interview. You will have no value in terms of your marks, unless it's something that will be out of order, that may declare your contact otherwise. But you're open to say something.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would like to appreciate this committee on appointments for giving this opportunity to me once again. My other very humble request would be, because I have a huge following of persons with disability, persons with hearing impairment being one of them, I would request if this and maybe future proceedings have captioned or they have sign language interpreters available, so that the information which is for the public as this is accessible and available to all the citizens. And there is no discrimination. Thank you, Chair and the committee.
Thank you. We take note of that observation, and I think the clerk, you have learned. We also learn from you as well. It's a constitutional requirement for that matter, and therefore, yes, members who have already visited the document. I think the Sergeant at Arms will show you away on the corridors. Meanwhile, you leave that document, the file with the original document, with us for the next 5 minutes.
Okay.
For examination by members. Thank you. You are released. Okay. For examination by members. Thank you. You are released.